up here and talking with us about how you can use sensitivity as your superpower is the beautiful Heather LaFond.
Hello, you magnificent human beings. I am so blessed and honored to be here with all of you today. And I'm talking about how your sensitivity can be a superpower. I know Deborah had talked earlier about superpowers, so I feel like we're all in alignment with what we are talking about this weekend, which is beautiful. There was a time in my life where I viewed sensitivity as being a limitation that held me back from achieving my dreams. I had been in college and I was pursuing a career as a pediatrician, and she had been working with a little girl who had bacterial meningitis when she was a baby, which is an infection of the fluid that surrounds the spinal column and the brain. And because of the severity of that, she suffered from being mentally challenged. And so this little girl started to cry during her procedure. It was a simple procedure. The doctor was just cleaning her ear. But this little girl started crying, such an anguished cry that it shook me to my core. And I had to excuse myself from the room because my vision had started to get dark from the outside in, and I didn't know if I was going to pass out or what was happening. And while I was in the hallway, I had this realization that I don't know if I could do this. If I continued down the path of becoming a pediatrician, I would be working with children that might be sick, they might be in pain, and I don't know what I would do if something happened to them. And so at that point, I had decided that being sensitive was weakness. It was something that was weak. And I carried that limiting belief with me for several years. And it wasn't until a couple years ago that I realized that when I saw that darkness, that I was really experiencing the brain damage that this little girl had inside of her mind. And I had this out-of-body experience and was able to see that with the gifts of clairvoyancy. I know you two ladies know about that. And I really, at that point, understood that this wasn't something that was a curse, but a blessing. And so all too often, we are told that being sensitive is something that is a negative thing. How many of you, let's see, raise your hands, have been told you're too emotional, don't be so sensitive, right? We're told to toughen up, right? Rub some dirt on it and keep pushing through, and not to embrace that sensitive side. And not only are we told that by the people around us, but also by the things that we see and hear on TV. So I wanted to share. How many of you have seen A League of Their Own? Yeah, there's some crying baseball, right? Or this one here with Frozen, right? Don't let them in, don't let them see. Be the good girl that you always have to be, right? So both of these characters initially are not embracing the fact that they are sensitive, right? But if you've seen any of these movies to the end, you know that at the end of the movie, Tom Hanks, he still has that tough exterior because he's a man, you know, and that's kind of like what is expected from them, but he's a big softie on the inside. And with Frozen, right, she embraces her gifts at the end of this. And that's something that I invite all of you to get curious about and to do with yourself, is that instead of viewing being sensitive as something that's holding you back, to be able to see it as being your superpower. And so we're going to take a moment. When we shift the way that we view being sensitive, the world gets to follow. So just like everything, we get to be the change that we want to experience in the world. And I know some of us may have not taken time intentionally to tap into that sensitive side of ourselves. So I'm going to invite you all to join me in just a very short meditation to tap into that. So if you're comfortable with it, you can just close your eyes or maybe just kind of look down ahead of you and begin to sink your seat into the chair. Feel your feet grounded on the floor. Feel your back up against the back of the seat. And notice your breath and how your body moves as you inhale and as you exhale. Breathing in and breathing out. And I want you to envision a little golden ball of light just out ahead of you. And notice that as you inhale, this ball of light increases in size, and as you exhale, it gets a little bit smaller, just like our lungs do, as we take in the air and as we let it back out. Noticing that golden ball of light. And in your mind's eye, envision yourself reaching your hands forward in a little cupping motion, and that little golden ball of light falling into your hands. And slowly you bring your hands in towards your heart center, embracing that sensitivity. And as you continue to breathe, visualize that light just extending through every cell of your being, spreading love and positivity, feeling your entire body filled with this golden ball of light. And slowly bring your presence back to here and now, feeling your feet on the floor, maybe wiggling your toes, wiggling your fingers, rolling those shoulders back, and then slowly bringing your awareness and presence back into the room. So when we embrace being sensitive, it invites everyone else around us to be sensitive. It invites the world to embrace sensitivity as being a gift and not something that needs to be shunned or stuffed away. It was by being surrounded by people who were sensitive and caring and were able to hold space that I was able to embrace the sensitivity and be able to grow it and expand it. And so I invite you all today to think of how you can go out into the world and spread love and create that safe space for those around you. I have my little community here at the Circle of Trust that I'm inviting all of you to join for free for 30 days. And it's a place for sensitives to share their experiences, to uplift one another, and just to hold space. And then as well, I have some copies of my book, Rise and Roar. I just released it April 1st. Thank you. It was a top new release on Amazon and bestseller, so I'm super proud of that. But it's all about mindset and the things that we tell ourselves that don't work for us and what we can do instead to just be a bad egg. There's a lot of cussing in it because I'm a little bit sweary. So, but if you would like a copy, you're more than welcome to come up and grab one. So thank you all.